If Brian's watching, he'd be like, "Is that tequila out of that fancy glass?"
Out of that fancy glass,
Mhm.
yeah.
Actually, Brian would never say that because he's never seen me drink tequila like that,
In a fancy glass,
or that in that like volume. You know,
it's usually out of a. Oh, son of a gun.
Man,
What?
I think we're going, dude. Hey, everybody, this is Matt, and we're at Texas Toast Guitars. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Primetime Guitar Live. And we are in right in the beginning stages of Spring Strat-a-thon. And gang, let me just tell you, there is so much good stuff going on with Spring Strat-a-thon.
It's still a thing.
It is still a thing. And we've got a handful of stuff. So hold on. Let's take a quick super chat from Brian. He says, "It's my Friday this week. Cheers." Oh, cool. Thank you, Brian. How do you pronounce this, Chris?
I don't know.
Jim brought some of this over.
Kuskenia. That's what I would say.
It's pretty beery.
It's
really beery. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm a mega fan.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm going to endeavor to persevere.
Good idea. I just finished mine.
So we are not right in the middle because Spring Strat-a-thon is not even a week old yet. But we have one guitar with strings ready to ship. If you are on the fence about getting a Strat from us because you're like, what if it takes too long? We've got one that's all strung up and ready to ship right this second.
And it's the last of the $1,500 ones.
Yes, and it's that one right over there.
You want me to get it?
Yes.
I just sat down.
Well, then I'll get it. You're on the wrong side.
Keep sitting.
So this guy is still available. It's
still dusty. Don't worry, I didn't dust it.
Yeah. So this is thank you, Chris. This is still available, and it is available at the like wildly discounted $14.99 price. When you click buy it now, it'll tack on money for shipping and a case, which it comes with a really nice Gator. It's a gig bag, but it's a gig bag case, right? It's
called the transit bag.
Yeah, it's not like
no.
It's not just a sack that you put your guitar
it's really
with.
Nice. And I might like it better than hard case.
I do.
I mean, I'm a gig bag guy anyway, but these are really nice. They're super solid.
Like if you had to take an Uber to a show, and I know guys who've done that, like they're using an amp that's there and they're just showing up with their guitar.
Yeah.
If you had a great big case, it's a bummer. But if you had one of these bags, so it's the player's guitar.
It is, yeah. And I'm usually just a gig bag guy, but I'm real careful with my stuff. But sometimes stuff happens, and I would feel a lot better with one of those.
Absolutely,
than my normal gig.
Would you fly with one of those? Like if you took the gig bag on the plane with you? Okay.
Yeah. When I was doing a lot of flying with guitars, I would have loved to have had that gig bag. Don't know why I didn't have one of those gig bags.
Kit Tipton wants to know what kind of strings are on it. I'm guessing they're Diodario
1046 nickels.
Yep. Todd says he just got his yesterday. The guitar and case are both awesome. That's great, Todd.
Good.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Glad
to hear it.
Andrew St. Pierre sent us a super chat. He says Gator transit cases are excellent.
Yes, they are, and I hope he's feeling better. I hear.
Is he not?
He's come down with the case of the COVID.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Who was it that Brian Mills said he received his $9,000 SD today. It's gorgeous, plays great, and sounds amazing.
Good. Which one did he get?
He got the
white one?
I can't remember which one Brian got.
I can't either. I remember seeing his name on a box.
Yes. And who was it that got the silver one? He was asking about very, very first question. Paul?
Yep. I thought he just said.
No, hold on. Josh got his silver, or I don't know if he got it, but he was asking about the finish. Todd got the white one.
Okay.
And which one did Brian get? He probably got he must have got the sunburst one.
The rosy wood.
Yeah. Must have been. So
how do you say that?
Well, yeah, you can say
rosy wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
So So Chris, what finish is on these? Guys are asking like what I thought they meant what color is it? And when it comes to the silver one, I want to say that was one that you custom mixed up. So
that silver was actually a color called gunmetal pearl.
Okay.
From Tamco.
Do we have any more of it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
But that one had the Fender 2-point trim and the wheel adjust truss rod.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
That one was, yeah.
We shan't make more of those. You know why? Because we just got a great big box of stuff for all the guitars.
Oh yeah, we did get all that today, huh?
That are in the.
I should be like all excited and go over and like.
It's all
maybe lay them out on a bed and roll on it.
So if you guys special ordered a guitar from us for a spring Strat-a-thon, your information is in this folder right here, and we got a bunch of parts for you guys coming but they just came today, so we're gonna get a bunch of that stuff maybe ready to go and mocked up tomorrow, so you can see some of it.
Yeah, at least mocked up.
So anyway, so tell me about what the finish is. Tell everybody what this is called.
So we call this our 73 finish.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a proprietary finish.
Yeah, lots of guys have asked me how we do it, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell you that.
No.
Yeah.
No, but it's not the same as the old durable thin finish. Mm-mm. That was a different process. These are all just processes.
Though this is very thin.
It is. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Just as, maybe even more so.
Yeah.
Probably not. But it's got some shine to it, as you can see, but it's not high gloss, plasticky looking. It's got a vintage warmth.
Yeah, what we went for when we came up with and kind of worked through how we wanted to do this top coat was we wanted something that looked old, but not something that looked beat up.
Yeah, yeah. There's old and then there's beat up. Old. Beat up and old it's still old.
Because what we were noticing when we would go through and look at like pictures of guitars that were actual vintage instruments, they weren't high gloss. They were something like this after they've been sitting for
at this point. They're
60 years.
Certainly not. Yeah, and I follow a guy, a shop called Well Strung Guitars on Facebook, and they have the cleanest, most original guitars in the whole world. They actually have a museum, and the guitars are fantastic. And if you ever want to see what a 60-year-old guitar looks like, or a 70-year-old guitar looks like now, that's never been played and never been touched, that's the place to see them. And that's when I started noticing, oh yeah, if nobody buffs the shit out of it every other day, with either by playing it or whatever, they end up with this really nice satiny, low luster look to them.
I think luster is a perfect word for it. Yeah. So
maybe that'll be my new rock name, Chris Luster.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this one is available for $14.99. You guys can get it, and we'll ship it tomorrow if you buy it tonight.
Can I put it down?
Yeah. We also have 2 guitars I see up there that are going to be revealed tomorrow, and they'll be available for $18.99 because they're getting more expensive bits. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The other option is you can build your own, basically
spec your own.
Yeah, spec your own. If you go to In Stock Guitars at texastoastguitars.com, In Stock Guitars, there's a $9,000 Strat, and you can click on that, and for I think it's $2,200, you can basically it comes with alder or ash body, maple neck, maple fretboard, rosewood fretboard, roasted maple, ebony, your choice of color. We're doing one that's got 2 humbuckers. We're doing a hum single. We're doing single. You could do 2 P90s. You could choose what headstock you want. You could choose Callahan hardware. So that's cool. We got a great big box of really nice Callahan hardware in today, and those are going on all the Strats from now on. Now, if you want that one, Chris, I'm going to throw you a curveball.
You want which one?
If you want the one that you just had in your hand,
Uh-huh.
what if someone said, I want that one, but I want Callahan hardware on it? No, we'll be happy to make you one and put Callahan hardware on it, but that one's cut for Hipshot tuners, and you just can't really do it. So, and that's a prototype. It's got an oil finish neck, so that's why the cost is lower.
Yeah, it's a
on
little
that.
bit less.
Okay. All right. And Dylan is here. Dylan is getting ready for his show. And Dylan is winding a bunch of pickups for us.
I saw that picture today and I was like, those can't all be for
They
us. And I
are,
counted. I
sir.
went, yeah, they're all for us.
Yep.
Yeah. You're welcome, Dylan.
Yeah. Doc is here hanging out. So in a week from tomorrow, Doc is going to be in town. And then a week from Saturday, the Dangerous Brothers show up, Douglas and Sir David.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm pretty sure Brian will be out here for a while because Jim is going to come over. It's going to be a lot of fun. So Sean and Raul, if you're both watching, I don't know when you guys are getting in, but you got to come by the shop early so we can hang out because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Raul's actually got my phone number, so he texts me. So
okay, good.
So yeah.
So, but that's not spring Strat-a-thon doesn't end there, Chris. But I do want to remember to one thing I have to remind you guys is that we have a firm grip on reality. No, we have this, we use this service where you can pay off your guitar a little bit at a time. Doesn't matter if it's a Strat or a Challenger or whatever you want, but so you don't have to be, it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? So I think like some people might be thinking, well, you know what? I'm getting a tax return, but I'm not getting $1,500. Don't sweat it. Put all that tax return money on the guitar that you want to get, and then pay off the rest using the Affirm thing. And I don't think it costs very much to do. Do you know? Does it cost anything to do? What the interest is?
They come back with some of them are free and some they.
So some of them actually there's zero interest. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, so it's kind of like getting a really cool guitar for $100 a month. And well, it is. And yeah, you don't even notice it.
The way that I do those things is I set it up for auto pay, especially if it's a small bill, and then it doesn't sting at all.
You don't even, I said, you literally do not notice that it's happening.
Yeah. And then you're free to go buy another guitar.
That's how, yeah, that's right. That's how I got my electric bike. I should ride my electric bike. Maybe not tomorrow. I should have done it the last 2 days.
Not tomorrow. It's going to rain.
Raining. Okay. So, but anyway, spring Strat-a-thon doesn't end there, guys. Today we are going to, in our version, our segment, our live show, we are going to talk about we're going to bust some Strat myths, the worst Strat myths of all time. So, Chris, you printed out some. I wrote some down.
Okay.
We are approaching these as manufacturers, not as players.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
And I want to hear from you guys too. If you have any questions, please send them in super chat form. We always see those. If you don't want to do super chat, I totally get it. Just put a bunch of question marks or something or asterisks, ampersands, whatever you want, and we'll try to see those. And I hope that I catch them. And yeah, we'll talk. But today we're talking about Strats and we're talking about Strat myths. Now, Chris, I think that you and I agree on the number one Strat myth of all time being a total myth. And that is that Leo Fender was cheap and Strats were supposed to be cheap.
Yes.
I disagree with you. Yes. Then I do agree with you then. Yes.
Yes. It was never supposed to be a cheap guitar.
No.
One of my favorite quotes was from a guy named Don Randall who actually ran Fender sales.
Okay.
Leo Fender had nothing to do with the sales end of the company.
Okay.
Don Randall did. And he and Leo and another guy started the company. Anyway,
That's Mr. Fender to use.
It's yes, and Mr. Randall.
Yeah.
And
Don and Leo.
Any success that the Fender brand had was probably because of Don Randall.
Not
But
because
he
of the
said,
designs.
well, but I mean, it's one thing to design a cool guitar.
Yep.
It's another thing to be able to figure out how to sell that guitar nationwide, worldwide.
Sure.
You know,
back in the days before the
galaxy-wide.
internet. Yeah.
Correct. And Don Randall was the guy that did that.
Okay.
So he always famously said the job of a retailer is to, the job of a retailer is to figure out how much you can sell something for, not how little you can sell it for.
Mm-hmm.
So he was well aware.
I have that backwards.
Yeah.
Because I have about as much business sense as, like I said today, a 2x4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
2x4.
The business end of a 2x4 is, I guess, different. But anyway, yeah, they weren't trying to build cheap guitars. They were trying to build good guitars for the most money they could possibly get for them. That's how you make profits. And so were they cheaper than a Gibson? By like $10, yeah.
And that's in that. Now that is in 1954 money, right?
Sure.
So do you recall what the manufacturer suggested retail price of a? Because you've told me this stuff. Do you remember off the top of your head?
I can't remember. I think it might have been $247 for
And
a
then
hardtail and $259.
And the case was another 20, 40 bucks.
No, the cases were really expensive. They were like 60 or 70 bucks.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was like a lot of money now. And they didn't come with a case.
So
most shops would buy them with a case, expecting to sell a case.
Yeah.
But when you went in, you didn't necessarily have to buy the case.
Okay.
When you bought the guitar.
Okay. So and the Les Paul, because in 54 there was no SG or there was no Explorer there, but there was the Les Paul.
Yeah.
So that was not a lot more money than
no, it was 10 or 20 bucks, something like that. Yeah. So
which still in 1954 money was a lot, but still not. And if you think about it I have $250 right now, and you can go buy a Stratocaster shaped thing.
You absolutely can. Yeah. 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 I think there was a lot less distractions for people back then. So it was easier to spend a lot of money on something. Also, you probably bought one guitar and that was it. You were a guitar player and you had one guitar, or you had an acoustic and an electric. I don't think there were a lot of people that had a collection of guitars back in the day.
Unless you're Buddy Holly.
He had one guitar.
Well, he sold, but you're
allowed to do that, but it's a strictly one in, one out policy.
I know that was the way it was for me when I was as old as Buddy Holly.
Me too. Yeah.
How old was he when he died?
22.
Wow, really?
21, 22.
Wow. I would think that would be information you could just rattle off.
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling somewhat discombobulated today.
Well,
I think it's because we've been huffing epoxy or something like that. I don't know.
I can vouch for your state of combobulation when you walked in this morning.
My state of combobulation?
Yeah, you might be discombobulated now.
Oh.
Maybe you need some recombobulation.
Was I okay this morning?
Yeah, you were totally combobulated.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
All right, let's talk about another of the worst Strat myths of all time, and that is that bolt-on necks were designed to make it easier for the user in case something happened to their guitar. Son of a bitch.
What time is it? 5:19. Who hit 5:19? Come collect your prize. Ugh. That rotten thing. We should have it on a timer where it turns itself off, but I don't think they make cheap timers for 220, do they?
We'll just get an expensive one. Okay. So
Except it won't shut off the valve. That's the whole thing.
Okay, so the idea of the bolt-on neck, now this doesn't apply exclusively to Stratocasters, but it does apply to, but because Strats were made by Fender, it applies to Strats too. The notion that the bolt-on neck was designed for the end user to replace the neck in case something ever happened. There's no need for a fret job, just replace the neck. The key words in that sentence are end user. Now, I don't doubt that the bolt-on neck was designed for ease or for convenience, but I believe it was designed for ease and convenience of manufacturing. What say you, Chris?
Yeah, probably. It might have been twofold.
Was it possible to get a bolt-on neck from Fender in 1954?
A bolt-on neck?
Yeah, could you just get a neck?
Yeah,
you could. Okay. Well, maybe
as a warranty item.
Okay, so would you have to send your old neck in?
Yes, that was the idea.
Let's take a quick super chat.
I think one of the reasons for the Telecaster headstock shape was because that would fit into a postal tube.
Ah, okay. So Doc says yes, 519. I win. Tell him what he wins, Chris.
I don't know. A hearty pat on the back.
I think he wins. He wins all the rest of these beers that we have in the shop.
There's 10.
So I think that the while the bolt-on neck may have been something that was convenient for the end user, I don't think that it had anything to do with let's make this easy on the customer.
Yeah, no,
I think that it had everything to do with
byproduct of ease of manufacturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nice thing about so when you're a manufacturer, especially in the 50s, remember, gang, there's no automated anything. Okay. So the idea of having a workforce that is a bunch of guitar builders in a great big factory wasn't something that was on the Fender radar. It was get some people, get a workforce, and what they do is they do one thing, or they do two things, or they do three things over and over and over again, and they get good at it. You know what I mean? You don't have to have one guy that knows how to cut wood and knows how to do frets and knows how to spray paint. You have one person that cuts out bodies, and you have one guy who works a pin router, and you have one lady who winds pickups, and you have one lady who does soldering, and you have and so after a while, these people they're not guitar makers, they're factory workers. And the whole idea of the Fender guitar was to take something that was up until that point, very traditionally the exclusive domain of the guitar maker. That's why Gibsons were the way that they were, which when you look at them by comparison, were overly complicated by comparison to a Stratocaster.
Yeah. Well, they had a big head start too.
Let's take a quick super chat from Van Shank Guitars, who says Doc wins a bag of sawdust. Big bag of sawdust.
Yeah, let's not empty that until he gets here.
Oh yeah, he
Here's your reward for 519.
He wins that he gets to empty it.
Yeah.
So yeah, the idea of getting good at stuff in the factory brings us to our next myth.
Okay.
The 7/16 roundover. Guys, normally this is where I'd go, Chris, what do you think about that? Because I normally do that, I'm not going to do that this time.
Thank you.
Guys, there are people in this world who believe in their heart of hearts that the Fender Stratocaster and the Jazzmaster and the Jaguar and
everything that's got a big roundover
has a 7/16 roundover. And the fact of the matter is that they don't. They have a 1/2 inch roundover.
They do.
if you look at one and you think, well, that's not quite a half, remember they're sanding. And there were guys with sanders and there were guys doing you can plow through alder and ash and you can turn a 1/2 inch round over into something that doesn't look like a 1/2 inch round over.
Well, especially
really fast.
Sand in the top and the back. Yeah. Some modern strats now have a smaller radius.
Yep.
And I know
well, don't get ahead. Don't get ahead.
Okay.
That's one of our next myths.
Oh, okay.
So, Chris, why do you think that they used a 1/2 inch round over after I tell you why I think? Have you guys ever tried to find a 7/16 round over bit? I mean, they make them, but it's not exactly like you just run down to Ace and get one.
No.
Okay.
Nope. The other thing that you have to remember about Fender is they had basically a cabinet shop in their work area, and they used a 1/2 inch round over on amp cabinets. That was just one of the tools that was set up.
Yep.
All the time. That's all that table router did was 1/2 inch round over. And I guarantee.
Wait. You honestly expect me to believe that they didn't change the Stratocaster round over to 7/16 on some parts of it when they had a fully operational cabinet shop with a 1/2 inch round over bit ready to go?
Pictures of stacks of bodies with nothing done but outline and round over cut out, stacked. Yep. And if you can't, I can see it. I can see that it's not 7/16.
When
it's
you have
pretty big.
If you agree with me, and you should, that the workforce wasn't particularly well versed in everything guitar building, it's very easy to imagine that one guy was cutting them out on the bandsaw, and then he'd hand them over, and he'd push a big stack of them over to another guy on a pin router, and he'd cut them out the outline, and they'd give them to another guy, and he'd run them over a bunch of 1/2 inch round over bits, and then they'd give them to other guys, and they'd grind that contour in on a drum sander.
Yep.
Or I don't know what the order was.
I think they cut that out with a bandsaw, and then a lot like we do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. 7/16. Why? It's hard to get now in this day and age. It had to have even been no. It's 1/2 inch is too much. Let's back off.
Yeah.
That's too much. Even though we got that whole thing over there, I guarantee when
we want our
those guitars, that's what they did. They went,
wait,
it should be rounder. Well, let's take it over to the cabinet shop. Okay.
Wait a minute. You honestly expect me to believe
that's
that
R&D.
somebody said, nope, I want this to be 1/32 of an inch different on either side of the round over than it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
They used a 1/2 inch, and one of the guys that they had around that was kind of heading up the whole Strat thing said, no, that's too much. There was a guy named Rex Gallion, and he said, this guitar should fit like a shirt. It should fit up against you. Okay. And they gave it to, Rex would come by every once in a while. Hey, how's that new guitar coming along? They go, oh, well, here you go, Rex, try it out. That's too round.
That it needs to be 1/32 different.
Yeah. If you could, what is this round over? 1/2 inch?
Brian Duncan sent us another super chat and said, Chris should write a Fender history book.
Oh, no, that's where I get all this stuff.
You've read the Fender history book.
I'm just good at reading stuff over and over. And
Greg Lanham says, I'd speculate that round over was done on a shaper, and sharpening over time would change that radius. I'm speculating that you're overestimating the tools that they had there. I would imagine it was a router, and when that bit got old, they threw it out and got a new one. Okay. NSJ Guitars, aka Scotsman, says, when the Strat was designed, people were skinny and wore their guitars high. It's a rib carve. LOL. Hey, Driddle's here. How you doing, Driddle? Rib carve. I think we always called it the gut cut or the tummy cut.
Yeah, belly carve.
Yep.
Yep.
By the way, you put one of those on Doug Santaniello's.
I did on his bass.
His soul pole bass.
I got it resealed up, so now it's ready for for finish paint.
Do we have any more? I know the answer already, but do we have any more soul pole basses that are ready for necks and pickups and bits? We have two,
Yes.
right?
I think so. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I sealed up one of them, and the other one is staring me in the face.
Yep.
Yep.
Those are going to be cool.
Yep.
Doc Siltonen asks, question, the adjustable end of the truss rod channel stops at the nut line, 0.470 deep. Doc, if you are asking about what we do for our truss rod depth, I don't think we go quite that deep. I think we go 400 deep.
I thought we went 3/8 and 4/5 is the way I
Is
programmed
that
it in the CNC.
okay?
machine.
So our truss rod, the main channel of the truss rod is 3/5,
It's 3/8.
3/8.
Yeah.
And then the area where the actual adjustment nut is 4/5, and
4/5.
then the way that we do our access is
Mhm.
the
It's
same
the
as the
same
other one. Yeah.
as the other one. Yeah.
By the way, that is something that I am noticing. I had never seen that before, and I see it a lot now.
What? Oh.
The way that our
Yeah.
truss rod access is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying nobody else did it,
Yeah.
but I am saying that I see it a whole lot more now than back when you and I came up with that.
Yeah.
And that's cool, but yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because I do remember laying all that stuff out, and I wasn't going, oh well, so and so does it this way. That was all us, at least as far as now two people can design the same thing
Mhm. Yep.
separately.
Yep.
But I wasn't looking at somebody else going, well, let's
Mm-mm.
just do it like they do.
No, as a
So-
matter of fact, what we wanted it to look like was not what we saw everybody doing, which was the truss rod going all the way through.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That in some ways looks kind of cheap, I think.
I think it
It
can.
can look
It
cheap.
can look better
Yeah.
if it's done properly. So Big Kahuna
Well, and the
asks,
funny
yep,
thing about that, let me just say this about that. Let me tell you about that.
Priest is the best. Hey, why you
Priest.
talk about
First of
that? And I'm
all,
gonna go get another drink.
Priest is the best. When we originally designed that, it was strictly for the 7-degree headstock. And then there became a time where we needed to redo our Fender style necks, with the scoop and the flat headstock. And we thought, well, what if we did that same thing on that? And we tried it out and we liked it. But initially it was for the 7-degree headstock.
Yep.
When we designed it.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't
right.
that a great story?
I love that story. I love that. I love that. That
The
thing.
end.
Okay. I want to irritate a bunch of people here. I want
Oh,
to
good.
piss off a bunch of people with the next couple of Strat myths.
Okay.
Okay. Strat myth number, whatever it is, number
Uh-huh.
82.
Okay.
Alder and ash are not tone woods. That is to say, the myth says that they are. Guys, I got to tell you something. Alder and ash are not tone wood.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you can say that they are, and you can hold one up and tap on it, and you can go,
Uh-huh.
look, this one rings like a bell. Fine. But the fact of the matter is that traditional tone woods are not ash and alder. They are, in fact, mahogany, rosewood, ebony, and probably some others. Maybe maple, because I think some violins were maple. And whatever a xylophone is made from, there's probably some other weird, like, canary wood or something. But alder and ash are never considered to be now, they can sound cool. In fact, and the reason I say that is because I've heard an acoustic Martin that was ash back and sides.
Okay.
Sounded and looked cool.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
But alder and ash are not traditional tone woods.
Okay.
So whomever was thinking when they decided to use alder and ash, it had nothing to do with the way it sounded. And I guarantee you in 1954, dude at Fender didn't go out to the wood pile and start tapping on stuff. What say ye, Chris?
I think that is correct. And I know why they switched to alder from ash.
Well, let's talk about that. So Dylan Dylan has spun around in his chair and said, I'm listening. And because he likes to
he likes
talk
to
about
push
that.
these buttons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus, Dylan wants to die with a red hot piece of tone wood in his. No. I'm sorry. I've been watching Longmire a lot, and my favorite character is Lucian.
Okay.
And yeah, he kind of wants to die with a red hot machine gun in his hand.
Oh, okay.
And have you watched it? Okay. So anyway, but he said that in the last one I watched. He spun around and said, "I'm listening." All right. So anyway, Van Schenk Guitars is ready to get pissed off. So yeah, so let's talk about the reasoning behind all their verses. Ash had nothing to do with the way it sounded. It had everything to do with the way it
sealed and finished.
Thank you, Chris. So what are you talking about?
So ash is a very open pore wood, open grain, and it takes a lot more work to make that a flat finish.
Yeah.
And when I say flat, let's just say car fender like finish. It takes a lot more sealers and fillers, and
if you don't want to look like it, like
things.
the things dip. Yeah.
Ash is a lot tighter grained.
No, alder is tighter grain.
Yeah, alder. Sorry, and seals up and paints much easier, and it's more consistent that way.
Yep.
So
okay, Matt, irritating everybody in the world. Take 2.
Okay.
Here's another one you guys aren't going to like. Replica guitars are not vintage guitars.
My 8357.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a 2023 50.
Although, if it was an 83, then it might be.
Then it might be, yeah. But so and you
double
you can touch on that, because I want to talk about something different. But go ahead and talk about that.
Oh, what?
Because that's kind of your thing.
What part? The 8357?
Yeah.
My 99. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, so nobody actually says, hey, check out my new guitar.
Yeah.
It's a 2020 57 reissue.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Very rarely do you hear it's a reissue.
But usually, it's, hey, this is my 57 reissue.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's the way I think it happens.
Embrace that you have a reproduction, but know that it is in fact a reproduction.
Sure.
And no amount of pre-beating up is going to make it all of a sudden 70 years old. Okay?
No,
it's just not.
Until it's 70 years old.
Here's the other thing.
And you'll be dead.
The myth is that all the guitars from back in the day were identical. It must be, because now with the advent of computer automated machining, all the guitars are the same. Now, there's different, like, for example, you have the 54 or the 62 or the whatever, and they might be a little different. But the fact of the matter is that the run of 62s, they're all identical. Now, if you looked at every single actual 1962 guitar, they're all wildly different.
That would be really fun if you could get a room full, even like 4 or 5 of very, very closely dated guitars, and look at them and see. Yeah.
Because back in those days, there was human engineering, there was human machining, and they were all a little different or wildly different. But now every 62 looks like the next 62. Nothing wrong with that, but you can't say this is the actual official 1962 guitar because we laser, mapped an original. Well, big fucking deal. You laser mapped one. So you have a sample size of 1, and it's neat, but it doesn't reflect that. It's not like every single one isn't that. So I got to tell you, if you want the real thing, you got to get one that was at the very least sanded by a person, and the contours are different on all of them. You got to, and maybe they are at the Fender Custom Shop. I don't know. Are they? I'm sure they're sanded by people, but
yeah. So we actually talk about this a lot, and with our relationship with Steve at Maximum Guitars, and I am still of the opinion, because I've seen some videos, I've watched some stuff. I am a YouTube expert in a lot of ways.
Sweet.
No, but there's still a fair amount of hand sanding that goes on at Fender. They use CNC to cut stuff out, but when it comes to the other stuff, I mean, because we know, I mean, Steve's got an incredible CNC machine.
He has exactly the same CNC machine that they have at Fender. Want to know how I know?
Because he told you?
That's right.
Fender doesn't spend 50 minutes, whatever, however long it takes to cut out a Strat body.
They don't do it all on the CNC.
No, they do what they consider the important stuff there. And then, like a contour isn't going to really affect how the guitar plays or if it assembles correctly, right? Yeah. So they're doing neck pocket, bridge, all the stuff that needs to line up. This is universal for lineup.
I get it. Yeah.
And and the rest of it is hand sanding. And now necks, they get them close, but if we went in, we should actually do this someday.
Okay.
Go to Guitar Center and just start grabbing necks of the same model if they have, 3 or 4, and measure what they are at the 1st and 12th fret.
Do you
think
they will
be
could,
slightly different?
Could we just eliminate the middleman? Do you think we could go to the Fender custom shop one day and hang out?
Maybe. Are we that cool?
No, I mean, but they're not going to invite us. But could we go on like a tour or something?
They were doing tours. I don't know if they're doing tours anymore.
Okay.
If
anyone knows, let me know if the Fender custom shop is doing tours. And if anyone works at the Fender custom shop, let me know if we can come and hang out.
There you go.
For a day.
My surf friends, when we would, every year for the surf convention, for a long time, they would always do a Fender tour.
Okay.
But it was always on like Thursday, and I could just never get away from my life back then on a Thursday in the middle of the summer. I could maybe make the shows on Saturday or Sunday, but I just couldn't get away that early. So I never got the chance to go. And now I don't think they do them.
Oh, okay.
But,
well, maybe someone from Fender is watching, and they'd be happy to have us come out and
that'd be great, wouldn't it?
We could sand sealer with 320.
Yeah, man. Yeah, invite us out. I'll bring my block.
Stick. Your flip flop?
One of my favorite sanding block.
Okay, I've got one more myth that I want to talk about.
Okay,
which is both true and false.
Okay,
stay with me.
Okay.
I'm going to irritate and ingratiate myself to every single person watching.
Okay.
Hardtail Strats are cool.
Okay.
Is a total myth. And it's not a total myth.
Okay.
Okay. Every time we build a hardtail Strat, everyone goes, "Oh, cool, hardtail Strat." And you know why? Because they are really cool. I love hardtail Strats.
Okay.
You know how many hardtail Strats I have?
None.
You know how many hardtail Strats? Almost everybody who I say, "Oh, do you have one?" They go, "No, but I just really like them." Why don't you have one? So what is it? Are they so cool, but you just don't have one? Or are they hard to get? What is it about hardtail Strats that like everybody loves them? Hardly anybody has one. I know a guy who has a really excellent gold hardtail. And it really is super cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I don't know. I don't know how many hardtails they even make anymore.
Yeah, like I would imagine there's probably, in the grand scheme of things, for every one hardtail they make, there's 100, 150, 200.
Maybe, yeah. I don't even know.
1,000? I don't know.
Yeah. Especially for like guitar aficionados. I mean, you can buy a cheap, like hardtail Stratty kind of thing.
No, I mean like the real McCoy.
But like, yeah. Like even mid-level and up, I can't think of a whole lot of hardtail Strats.
I've never heard anybody say hardtail Strat, that's not cool. I've never heard anybody say that. In fact, everybody who talks about hardtail Strats talks about how awesome they are.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they are. Very few people own them. But I mean, imagine like we should, you know what I would like to personally have is one of our Strats with our neck and hardtail, but like burst and maple neck. I think that would be, if you guys want that, let me know and we will make make your hardtail Strat dreams come true with all Callahan hardware and the boutique quality everything. Dylan pickups, Callahan hardware, Maximum Guitar Works is going to do some of the stuff, and then we're gonna finish it out for you. Load it up. We'll do all the fret work. We'll do all the paint work. 73 finish. Imagine that, dude, with string through and the ferrules, and that would be a boss guitar. That I should have that. I don't know why I don't have that. What? Yeah. So anyway, what would your ideal hardtail Strat be, Chris?
I don't know. I find myself liking maple necks more and more for some reason, which isn't always the case.
Yeah.
But it's a maple fretboard Strat just screams Strat to me for some reason. Yeah. Maybe just because it's the first iteration of that.
What would your color choice be?
I don't know, man.
Oh, you know what else would be cool? Would be I
like blonde.
You know what else would be neat though is that that ash. So one piece swamp ash with that burst like you did for Sir David with that roasted maple neck, hardtail. Ooh, that would be so cool. That was badass, man.
It was, yeah. That guitar wasn't like around long enough.
No, I think he saw it and was like, I want it.
It's like, I barely remember that.
Yeah.
And I painted it and we put it together and that was that. And it was gone. And then
it was killer.
It was gone. Yeah.
All right. So we've got a little less than 15 minutes. I should probably start thanking my sponsors. But before we do, I want to remind you guys, Loring is here. I hope that Loring is still here. Guys, we are attempting to put together the Red Special Workshop. Still trying to figure out pricing and how many spots we're going to have and what you're going to actually be able to do in 5 days. But what I can tell you is that the workshop is going to culminate at the exact same time that Queen is going to be here in Denver. And so you could build Red Specials all week and then you go see Queen. Now, I'm not going to say Brian May is going to come to the shop. I'm not going to say that he is because I haven't talked to him. Loring might have. I don't know. Wouldn't it be something if Brian May came by the shop? Wouldn't it be something if a guy? What about
his buddy Larry with him?
What about the guy from REO Speedwagon who kind of looked like Brian May? They had the same frizzy hair.
Kevin. Yeah,
Kevin Dubrow. No, that's not.
Although that would, Kevin Cronin. That would work too. Kevin Dubrow, except
it would be wildly.
It could be his brother though, who looks slightly like him.
The doctor guy, the pimple popper guy.
No, the plastic surgeon guy.
Oh yeah. What about so we can't guarantee that Brian May will come by, but we can guarantee that someone with a fro might come by.
Yes, absolutely. 100% guaranteed somebody might come by.
somebody with an afro may or may not come by.
Somebody will come by.
Yeah. Okay. So holy moly, the comments are coming in. The comment section is like Mad Max, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. I would like to thank all of our sponsors, the good guys at Flipside Music, the great American guitar store. I talked to Ike yesterday or day before.
He's at NAMM.
He was on his way. He's probably at NAMM right now. I had to call because Doc's like, I need a bass case. And I'm like, well, I'll call Ike and see what he's got. And Ike was like, yeah, we got some stuff. So he's got both gig bags and cases. They got everything. You know what I mean? What
we got some stuff.
Well, he's in the car. He doesn't know.
That sounds right. Yeah.
I mean, what? Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's not going to give me like, like item
answer.
numbers.
Doesn't matter if he's in town or not. Yeah, we got stuff.
All right.
Yep. Cool, Ike.
Just try to pretend like, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Who else would we like to thank? Chris, you do one.
Brad Guitar Miller.
Thank you, because I often forgot about, but not by me, Brad Guitar Miller at Pedal to the Metal Guitars.
Yep.
He is absolutely one of the guys who is pivotal in sponsoring our $400 guitar building contest. If you want to get a loaded Telecaster control plate, Brad is I think you knock $25 off of it,
Mhm.
and they're cool.
Yeah.
They're ready to go. So if you're doing a telly, plop that thing in there.
Yep. Solder, solder, solder. Done.
Voila. If you need pickups for your $400 guitar build, I want you guys to think about Dylan McCurchie at Dylan Talks Tone. He's a good buddy of ours, and he's a cool dude. And when you buy pickups from Dylan, you know that he wound them. So it's not like when there was a time when Seymour Duncan wound pickups and when Larry DiMarzio wound pickups. When Larry DiMarzio wound pickups.
Yeah.
But they probably don't. Maybe they do.
I don't think they might every once in a while.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can still do it. Yep.
Yeah, I still can.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're not. But Dylan, for the every part, is. So if you buy boutique pickups from Dylan, you know that Dylan is winding them.
Yep.
And you know how you know they're the best? Phil McKnight says so. Speaking of Phil McKnight, guys, if you are on the Phil McKnight's webcast pod show, whatever it is, let him know that we have a spot for him in our August $9,000 Strat workshop, and we would love to have him come down. I haven't talked to him, but I think Dylan has, or is about to, or something. So let's see. I would also like to spank. I would also like to spank Steve at Maximum Guitar Works, and I would like to thank Steve at Maximum Guitar Works for supporting us in everything that we do with templates and things. He's helping us with the workshop, the $9,000 guitar workshop, and you guys can get involved in that. There are spots available. There's actually one spot that just came open in August. If anybody's
previously sold out,
I haven't even updated the website.
Yeah.
If you want to come in August, send me an email. Let me know.
We'll get it done.
If you want to come in October, we still have a couple spots for that one too.
Yep.
That is going to be such a cool workshop because the first day you spend at Maximum Guitar Works, which is, I'm not going to say it's anything like the Fender Custom Shop, but it's the same kind of thing. Yeah. You get to see like how they do it on the same machine that they do it, and you get to be part of it, and you get to spec it, and you get to go, I want that wood for my neck, I want that for my fretboard, I want that for my body. And after the first day, then you come back here, we do a bunch of paint work, we do a bunch of fret work, you wind your own pickups, we do all the assembly stuff, and after 5 days, you have a guitar that I guarantee you is an heirloom quality piece, and it is something that it is rivaled only by something that costs 3 times as much as that workshop. I'm not even stretching the truth a little bit there. I'm not exaggerating at all. Let's take a super chat from Rotbox, who says, Matt, please make a note. Send me an update on my spring Shellooe projects. It's been oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my friend. I will absolutely do that tomorrow. I haven't forgotten about you, my friend.
Give me the sheet of paper and the pen.
Chris is going to write a note and staple it to my body. Don't staple it to my body. I would also like to thank you, Dan and Calvin at Tone Wood Experts. Guys, I ordered $600 worth of maple tops from Tone Wood Experts the other day. You want to know how many tops that was? It was a lot, but not as many as you might think, because I got all like 4A flame maple we're doing a neck through workshop in conjunction with our carved top workshop. And both Raul and Brian are getting smoking hot, super cool flame wood from Dan and Calvin at Tone Wood Experts. You've seen it. Well, you haven't seen the stuff that I'm getting this time, but let me tell you, I'm paying a premium money for this. This is really, really nice. I'm not going to say what I think you'll probably do in your pants, but you can imagine what that might be, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I would also like to thank John and Cheryl from Bitterroot Guitars, who provide us with, among other things, all of the truss rods that we use for all of our workshops. And how deep are the truss rod slots?
The main channel is 0.38.
Okay.
The adjustable part is 0.45.
There you go. So thank you to John and Cheryl, who have been we've worked with John and Cheryl for many, many years
Mhm.
since back in the old shop days.
Mhm.
And if you use code TXTOAST at checkout, you get 15% off. If you use code Texas Toast 15 at checkout with Tonewood Experts, you get 15% off there too. And like I said, if you help us out and join our $400 guitar building workshop contest, you get $100 worth of free stuff from Steve at Maximum Guitar Works, and you get 40% off stuff from Dylan at Dylan Talks Tone, Dylan
Yep.
Pickups.
Yep.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Someone is like sending me emojis. Okay. It's not my niece. It's Van Shank Guitars. So anyway, I would also like to thank who am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting a bunch of people. You want to help me out?
Chris and Dina at Odyssey Beer
Chris and
Works.
Dina at Odyssey Beer Works. Oh my gosh, how did I forget? You've worked very diligently on something for Odyssey Beer Works. What's going on with that?
So Saturday they're having a Pinewood Derby race. So first of all, I had to get my Weeblo costume outfit uniform back in workable shape.
I'm surprised you still fit into it.
Well, I don't. That's the work that I had to have done.
You had to have it taken in a little bit.
I was a large kid. I was a large 11-year-old.
So you had to have it shrunk down.
Yeah, really, it's just a sash now.
What about the neckerchief?
Yeah, neckerchief and sash. Yeah.
You got the hat?
It's got my wolf badge on there, displayed prominently. Anyway, they're having a Pinewood Derby race, and they hooked us up, and we had to build a car, and I didn't start the car until Tuesday.
You didn't wait till the last
Monday,
minute, but you could see it from
here.
here.
Yeah, pretty much. Because I have to take it by tomorrow to have it inspected. And I worked on it a little bit here and a little bit there. I tried not to. I painted it while I was doing some other paint work, so I tried not to let it get in the way of.
Look, Dina's watching right now, and she says, "Can't wait to see the car."
Yeah, she knows the name of it and everything. So.
She does. What are you calling it?
Ole's Pink Rocket.
Ole's Pink Rocket. Awesome.
Guess what color it is?
What? Pink.
Pink.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how it started.
That's how it all starts.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd also like to thank Nigel Forstner in Queensland, Australia, New Zealand. He's got an ebook and a link in the description below. I want you guys to check that out. It's a very good read. He's got a brand new one too that I haven't even read yet. Mostly because I've been trying to get my basement ready to receive people when they come out to workshops, to have them over to my place and have drinks.
There you go. So
for everyone who is not Doc, but he will be here in April, you haven't seen the place. Doc's already been out once. So Doc knows what to expect. But everybody else, we've got a big surprise for you over at my place. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And last but not least, our newest sponsor, Stuart McDonald. Guys, if you know me and you've watched the videos for a long time, you know that I've been pushing for StuMac stuff for many years. They are now a sponsor of the channel. I've got some really neat stuff to show you guys from StuMac coming up very soon. Something that you've been waiting over 4 years to see. How about that? And I'm very excited about that. We also have a new 335 video on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Do we have a reveal for tomorrow, Chris?
I think we have some stuff to show off for Spring Strat-a-thon.
Spring Strat-a-thon reveal. We've got a couple of things that are available, a couple of things that are not available. It might give you some ideas of what we can do for Spring Strat-a-thon, and they're not available because they're already sold. And we got to get them boxed up and ready to go. And we got a big box of really cool Callahan hardware just in stock in the shop today. So, gang, I want you to go over to Dylan Talks Tone and hang out with him and his lovely wife Leslie for an hour or however long they're on. Good God Almighty! And yeah, I think it's time for me to get out of here. I had the worst lunch ever today. I need
Are
to
you
eat.
sure?
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah.
So I need to get some food. And yeah, so guys, we will see you tomorrow for a cool reveal. Chris Hill says there'll be grown men crying, at least cursing and whining and complaining. There'll be a bunch of grown men drinking on the Texas Toast team.
Yeah,
That's for sure, sir.
The Texas Toast Speed Team.
Paul Need says QQQQ, the Great American Guitar Shop. I think I talked about Ike and the guys at Flipside Music, the Great American Guitar Store. I thought I did
talk about them.
So, all right, gang, we will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a great night, everybody. I got to go watch Longmire.